You are now listening to CLS Music.
Where have I been? Where have I gone? Where will I go? Yeah. Where have I been? Where I've been? Who wanna know? When I cruise, low pros, white Benz, ride slow. Hit the day, going to Mars, high go.
Alright. What does CLS music mean?
CLS music, it just means, CLS is a Benz, first of all, so CLS music for me is like what type of music I'm coming out with. It's rider music on the whole EP, so for me it's a smooth ride, just like the CLS. The real reason why I named it CLS music is because my homie had bought a CLS, and that was like the first time I got in a car, and I was like, yo, I want a fucking car. Cause that shit was so hard, like, I was like, I need a fucking car. And like, that inspired me to make this type of music. Like, cause if you listen to the music, it's just like some shit you could really ride in like a Benz to and just really listen on your own shit, smoke up and just ride off and do your thing. But yeah.
Is that, or what do you think inspired this project?
Shit. I mean, this project took me like about 8 months to make, but it only took me like 3 to record, because most of the project was just shit I was going through, things I was seeing along the time. Like for example, No Chains. I was noticing I was doing shit that dudes that was like by industry standard like ahead of me, and I was like doing the same shit they was doing, messing with the same chicks they was messing with.
But
right, you feel me? But I ain't really had no chains on.
I feel that.
And these niggas was flossing. I was like, shit crazy. So that shit inspired that. Then I got Handle That. It was like a trying time for me in my life. And then I got Where I've Been, which is really like a story about somebody else. Then I got My Way, which is just basically me explaining shit, like how I see shit, compared to what I think other people see shit as or like. And it just came together.
Okay.
So that's what really inspired me, just how I was living.
Just like what was going on.
Yeah, what's going on around me at the time, for real.
Okay. Who are some of the producers on this project?
We got Kvrdio Isaiah. Shout out my man Kvrdio Isaiah. He's from Harlem. Definitely
Like
nice.
that?
He produced on Handle That. And I believe he did the production on My Way, if I'm not. Yeah, on My Way. Then you got Batman. He's a cat from Brooklyn. I don't know him personally, but I always hear his shit on fucking YouTube and shit. And BeatStars. And I be like, yo, son is dope. So I purchased a little, you know what I mean, a little lease from him. No Chains. Me 100% honest with you, I don't remember where the fuck I got No Chains from. And then Don't Need Anybody, I got it from my man Al Beats. And that was featuring Copy, so that was definitely home base right there. That was a fire-ass beat.
So 3 producers.
Yeah, I had about, and then I got Million Cash, that's Othello. Othello on the beat. I know everybody listening to him on YouTube and shit. I heard one of his beats and I got on that shit. That shit that was just some like, I was just thinking far with that shit. Like, what would I do if I had $1 million cash and shit? So those are the 3 producers. We got Batman, Kvrdio, we got Al, and then we got Othello. So we got 4 producers on the project. Yeah, I'm gonna tap in with them again for a couple other joints. Especially Kvrdio Isaiah, he done nice. And that's home team too, especially Al, that's home team. So I'm gonna keep working with those producers.
So where did you record that?
Well, it's funny because I recorded some of it in Houston, Texas, during the pandemic. Then I recorded in Stronger Bond Studio down on like 33rd Street, downtown New York. And then I recorded the rest and edited some of it in Fredo's up on 180th, up in Washington Heights. And then I finished it off in the sound lab right here, Uptown. So my man Copy, and it's just a variety of places that I was like doing it, but I don't think I'm gonna do that ever again because I was just jumping from place to place and like the sound. It was hard to get certain shit to sound certain ways, so
Right.
it was an experience and something for me to learn from. But I don't think I'm gonna do that again. But I recorded that shit a whole bunch of places, but ended up right here, and yeah.
And then, okay. Who are the features? What's the
Well,
feature game looking like?
But nah, there's only one feature, and that's Cap. That's Don't Need Anybody. That's one of my favorite songs that I've done. That's the only real feature that I really wanted, actually. No offense to nobody I know or I work with, but that's the only feature that I wanted because it suited what was going on at the moment. I was switching up the playlist a couple times, and I took out songs, put in songs, but that was like one of the only songs that, like, I was like, nah, this fits. And I put that on there, and he blessed the track, and I jumped on it with the verse, and I did my thing, and I feel like that's a good song. I want a music video for that too. We're gonna do a music video for that, for sure.
What inspired the song Handle That?
Handle that. I was just going through shit at the time. I didn't know how I was about to get my next buck. I was out in Texas. So basically, if you listen to the song Handle That, I'm talking to myself. And just my life inspired that, struggle inspired that. The one thing I will say about the song Handle That, though, I'm impressed by is that I didn't curse not once in that song. And I wrote that song in about like 20-something minutes, or 25 minutes. I remember writing that song on a balcony in an apartment complex I was in Houston, where I was staying. And I was just smoking, and I was like, yo, like, what the fuck? And then had the beat package from Birdo. Excuse me. Had this beat package from Birdo. I was going through the beats, and I heard that one. I should just start talking to me, so I started talking back. And then, yeah, I recorded it out in Houston, out in, like, I want to say LaPorte, Houston, or LaPorte, yeah. And it was, like, inside, like, some dude's crib. We was chilling and shit. I got to know homie, and then I ended up recording in his spot and shit. We tried to mix it down as best as we could. And it sounded good there, so when I brought it back to New York, we mixed it a little bit more. Then I brought it back. Then I brought it Uptown, and we mixed it some more, and it sounded good. Birdo liked it. And yeah, it was inspired by struggle. If you listen to the song, you'll understand where I was coming from. I think everybody kind of goes through this shit. Like, when you think about what's next, what you're going to do next, how you're going to handle certain situations. There were certain things I was questioning, like homies, loyalty, how I would be if, like, what if I never make it in music? Like, how would I handle that? What if I do make it? How would I handle that? Things like that is what I was thinking about at the time. Like, how you gonna act when your homies change? You feel me? How you gonna act if you never make it? Like, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna act if you make it? Is you bring your homies with you? How you gonna handle the blessings that come from the blessing of you making it? Things like that. So it's like, those were things I was just thinking about at the time. And that's what inspired Handle That.
It's not even on the list, but I'm gonna just ask. What was the first song that you actually like recorded off the
CLS Music? What's funny is the first song I recorded off CLS Music is not on CLS Music. The first song I recorded off CLS Music is a song called Moving, featuring Alito.
Wow.
Right. So I love that song. That song is a good song. I appreciate Alito for getting on that. That's love. The thing was, though, that, like, I just felt like it's a bigger song. Like, so for me, I just wanted it to be alone. I wanted it to be just like a video with, like, a good push on it, outside of what I was doing for CLS Music. But that was the first song for CLS Music, for real. Then after that, it was My Way.
So My Way.
Yeah, My Way was probably the first one that got on there. But originally, the first track was going to be that.
Okay.
But My Way was one of the originals. Handle That was one of the originals. Everything else got shifted as I moved throughout the year. Because there were certain songs I was just taking off and putting on and taking off. Like, we just dropped it by myself. Right. I dropped a song previous to CLS Music called Nothing Like Me. That was going to be on CLS Music, but I felt like that had its own, like...
Its own thing.
Yeah, so I was just like, I'm going to drop that. by itself. And it got good reaction. Everybody likes the flow on that. I don't see where my flow's different on that, but everybody likes the different flow on that, like me. So I think I'm gonna keep making songs like that. But yeah.
So you got a song called "Where I've Been."
Yeah.
And it kind of like it has like a storyline, you know, like but you mentioned that before. You mentioned like you know some of those songs you created like as what you were going through at that time.
True.
So with "Where I've Been" though, like what came about for that storyline? Like how did that even come to be?
Where I've Been was basically a story about my friend. He had just come out of prison, and at the time he was doing amazing things to me, and it's not like amazing where it's like fucking like unhuman like shit. It was just like somebody who comes from fucking prison and gets back on their feet and like surpasses where they were at when they were before they went to prison. It's very inspiring, and then like to know that person's story, and then like where they've been compared to where they're at.
Oh, so it's kind of like a
Right. So that was what was the inspiration towards it. It was like, dude came home, got on the ball, never looked back, surpassed people that been home, things like that. So it was just like, you know what I'm saying? If you listen to the song, you can kind of see it. It's like, came home trying to see what's the vibe, what's the temperature. Motherfuckers still acting funny, cool, it's whatever. I'm on this type of time.
right.
People be asking where I've been, and just like, it don't even matter where I've been, it's where I'm about to go. And now I'm thinking about like future shit. Y'all still
There it is.
on the other stuff. So that's what was the inspiration, that's the motivational piece of it. That's what inspired me to make the song. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the story came from.
So what determined your track list then? Like
Shit.
and what was the recording process like?
I mean, what determined my track list was like mostly like my peers. So I used to ask Cap how it sounded, my homies, who's like my biggest supporters and fans, Lordy. I would ask Uptown. I would ask a whole bunch of people that I felt had good taste in music, and like they didn't have a biased view. Like they wouldn't yes man me, and like how they liked how it sounded sonically, like if it transitioned well, things like that. I went off of that based off what I felt, and then boom, track list. And then my recording process was mad, like I said, like guerrilla style. Like that shit was like sleeping on niggas' couches, motherfucking asking niggas if they could let me record in their crib for free. Fucking niggas blessing me and letting me rock. Fucking going to the big studio and paying like $400, $500. My man's chipping in half. My other man's throwing in $80 here. Shit like that. That's the recording process as an independent artist or up and coming artist. And you know what I'm saying? And that shit made me more hungry, grateful, and I see who's for me and who's not for me at the moment. So that's what the recording process did for me. I had the lyrics.
Yeah.
I had
Putting it all together.
right, because a lot of the times as an artist, like me personally, if you listen to my music, you hear like I be saying I be depressed and I'm not doing shit. It's like I don't feel like doing shit and I don't even fuck this music shit because I'm just trying to like find what's good with me. You hear that shit in my music sometimes, like in post-trauma, songs like that. So it'd be hard for me to just even like function sometimes just in regular life. So that make it hard for me to produce, to get resources to make music. But since like a whole pandemic thing and then seeing what I've been doing, like a whole last year I was dropping music, seeing the like responses from that, people believing in me, start working with Cap, shit like that made me want to keep making music and like took me out of that rut, believe it or not. So that's what my recording process was like. That shit was like a motherfucking a dark time.
Enlightening though.
Yeah, you feel me? So that's what that recording process was.
Will you make another CLS?
Yeah, for sure. But this time, shout out to my nigga Shady. This time, when I make CLS music, it's gonna be my CLS and the motherfucking cover art. Cause that's what I wanted to be. Like when I do get my shit. Cause what it was is like my man's had the CLS and he traded it in, whatever that he did. Then my other homie had a CLS. I was like, I need a photo shoot, bro, so you might have to bring your shit out. He brought his shit out, let me rock. That's my man's. It's not even my CLS, so I'm not fronting. But the next CLS music, I'm definitely dropping with my shit on it, and I'm gonna have more features on that for sure. I think what I need to do, if I create that series or let it keep going, is just make that a feature series. Cause I feel like this rider music, it could have the potential to be up-tempo music. I just left it at a certain tempo. So yeah, CLS Music 2 is definitely a thing for me. I'm gonna probably change up the title, give it more songs. CLS Music, Lap 2, something like that. You know what I mean? Second lap, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Give it a racing theme. I like cars. So we're gonna see what that's about. But yeah, definitely another CLS. But for right now, we're gonna tap in with this CLS to further notice. Indeed.
Thank you for CLS, my brother.
Nah, yeah, CLS for sure. That's for y'all, that's for me, that's for us.
And that's on Apple, that's on Spotify.
That's on Apple, that's on Tidal, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Deezer, all that shit. All that shit.
How you gon' handle that? Down, but you gotta get paid. You feeling the pressure, or it ain't a thing. How you gon' handle the pain? How you gon' handle that? You changing and staying the same. How you gon' handle the fame? How you gon' handle this thing? Sheesh. Keep my cool, but can feel the heat. Play the fool, make me more discreet. Businessman, but I'm still street.